So if you put like a cup on it and you take it out, they die. Like if you know how you like try to be humane and you move a spider, apparently they die. I read it on the internet, maybe you will, but allegedly.
Oh my gosh.
Just
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I don't know.
I haven't
Allegedly.
called the order yet.
Because everything on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were up here.
That is
Definitely
the minutes from last meeting.
Does everybody need sugar?
Huh.
I watched it
Sean could
today,
use an agenda if there's any left.
Okay. Give it a go.
but I have never tried.
No, that's minutes.
That's the minutes.
Oh, sorry, minutes, okay.
Next time and then bring it back.
I like it.
Okay. Probably over here.
Okay.
We are good to go. We're on.
Sorry I'm late, Madam Chair.
That's fine, we haven't started.
We started ages ago.
Lucy,
We've
do
been
you have
waiting.
your own minutes?
Yep. I do. I don't need any.
And agenda?
I don't need any.
Could you? There's minutes and agenda here.
I think I've got
Good to go? All right. Good evening, everybody. And we'll start off with our land acknowledgement on this rainy April 14th. So on April 14th, 2026, we acknowledge that this sacred land on which Smith Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation. We are grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for land and water in order that we might meet here today. We are also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in making the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building, through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. With that, I will call the meeting to order at, if I knew what time it was, it would be very helpful. 6:06. We'll move on to the approval of the agenda. First of all, does everybody have a copy? Yes. All right, so we will move on to approving that then. So could I have someone move it, please?
Is there any amendments?
A couple of minutes first.
Oh, there are amendments?
Yeah, so we have under delegations, we actually have one delegation giving regrets. That's from the Downtown Smith Falls Business Association. They actually have their own meeting tonight, so they're not able to attend.
That's fine.
So we'll defer that to a later evening. And then I have an update to some activities at Lower Reach that I'll add under priority issues. Number C, letter C, if that works for you.
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely. So with all those changes as amended, could I have someone move the agenda, please? Courtney, thank you. Corey, thank you for seconding her. All in favor? Motion carried. We'll move on to the adoption of the minutes. Does everybody have a copy of the minutes from the January 20th meeting that we'll adopt? Yes, everybody has a copy. Is there anything that anyone noticed as being changed that they wanted to make in it? No. I did see one thing, Director Clark, if we could. Where did I write it? Oh. Just under item C number, well, I guess it would be number 1 and 2. They're the wrong dates.
Oh, good to know.
They're the dates from last year. And that was probably my fault because that's probably what I told.
That's okay. All right, noted. I'll make those changes.
Thank you so much. All right, so could I have someone move to adopt the minutes, please? Heidi, thank you. Could I have someone second, please? Courtney, thank you. All in favor? Motion carried. Moving right along to our delegations, and our first delegation this evening is Marie Elmsley, the planning clerk, to talk about the community improvement plan. So, Marie?
Thank you, Chair, and thanks for the invitation to speak to you tonight about some of the changes that were made to the community improvement plan. For those of you who aren't aware, the purpose of the CIP is to help stimulate investment in the revitalization of Smith Falls through a series of funding programs that fall under 5 key themes: universal accessibility, both interior and exterior accessibility, improvements to the buildings, affordable market-based housing, brownfield development, which is the improvement of lands that have been indicated as contaminated through professional studies, downtown and waterfront revitalization, and these programs are often paired with universal accessibility. So for the downtown, looking at facade signage, exterior improvements to the facade and signage, and then interior restorations and renovations. And finally, which is new this year, is Built Heritage Resources. This is for some of the programs have received increased funding if it's a heritage designated property, and we've also now included funding for residential properties, whereas primarily everything was for commercial properties before. So in 2026, Council amended the Community Improvement Plan, seeing a number of updates and changes, but for programs 1 and 2, which focus on accessibility, the following changes were made. We saw increased funding from 50% to a maximum of $15,000 to a maximum of $25,000. That just reflects the cost since 2023 of the increase in construction costs. Added in exterior chair lifts as an eligible project. Where ramps aren't feasible, sometimes these exterior lifts can be accommodated quite nicely. And widening doorways of a secondary entrance if it's not feasible to use the primary entrance. Some of our older buildings in downtown that are right at the sidewalk don't have room at those primary entrances to make improvements. But if they have a secondary entrance where it still allows access to the majority, to the whole of the building, then it makes sense to allow the improvements to happen there. And then under program 2, under interior accessibility, again increasing the funding from 50% to a maximum of $15,000 to $25,000. So I've also included in your package there, other than sugar because 'tis the season, the actual program details for programs 1 and 2. There's what is expected in all of the programs, but I'll just highlight under program 1, which is exterior universal accessibility, the eligible costs or eligible projects. Installing wheelchair ramps, installing new automatic or powered doors, the exterior lifts, and widening the doorways of the primary entrance, or widening the doorways on the secondary entrance. And rationales required for that, of course. And then under program 2, eligible costs are renovating 1 or more washrooms to be universally accessible, widening interior doorways or paths of travel, and installing interior ramps or lifts, and installing elevators. So that's in a nutshell some of the changes that were made to CIP. I would welcome any questions or comments you have.
Now, open it up to the floor. Any questions, comments? Corey?
So how does the town go about reaching out to the businesses to make sure they know that these are potential savings for them?
Promotion, that's a great question. So we do a lot of promotion through social media. We do door knocking directly to the businesses. We do a direct email campaign in conjunction and partnership with the DBA and the Chamber of Commerce, so we have that wider reach as well. We've done newspaper ads, direct mail campaigns. Those are the primary sources.
Have you seen that increase the last previous years for accessibility needs?
You know, we generally see 2 to 3 applications per year. That's what I've seen, having only picked up since 2024. But in prior years, that's what I'm seeing. And in some instances, you'll see it in combination because you can stack the funding, and the accessibility programs are stackable with almost all of them, which is great savings for a business and a good investment for the town.
Anybody else?
I think going from 15 to 25 is a great improvement.
Mhm.
His costs have obviously risen, so that's great.
Anyone else? Yeah, I totally agree with Courtney that change is really gonna help, and I see that there's been a lot of thought into putting into where that money will go, and it's gonna make a huge difference to accessibility. So
Yes.
thank you for all your work in that, and
On behalf of the team, I will say thank you. It's a big team.
thank you, and thank you for your delegation. We learned a lot from it, and thank you for the packages as well.
Thanks very much.
All right, so we have another delegation this evening. Rob Moore from the Red Shoe Run, from the rural FASD regarding the Red Shoe Run. So Rob, come on up, and you want to bring your helpers? Absolutely.
I'm going to just introduce my helpers here in just a second. Just need to get my papers organized a little bit. I have a little bit of a small package. I wasn't sure how many copies I had to make. So unfortunately, I only have 6. So I'm going to distribute accordingly. But first of all, I want to introduce you to Skylar. Skylar is a resident here of Smith Falls. That's her daughter, Emma, with her. The reason she's here with me, it's on a completely different note, is because right now Skylar is actually working with the municipality of Mississippi Mills as an accessibility consultant, and she has been doing some work regarding their election. And I don't know if you folks have actually seen this document yet, but they have an accessible election plan that they have created at this point that they're doing some consulting with, and I think I got this. So I just wanted to make sure that you folks were aware of this particular one and the work that Skylar is doing associated with it. And if you have questions regarding it afterwards, you definitely know how to get a hold of us. So more than happy to have those discussions at that point. Second, the Red Shoe Run itself, I have a second thing that I'm going to pass along. Have you folks seen these? I'm really happy to hear that, actually.
Yes.
Beautiful. Actually, I have a couple extras here. I'll do that. Okay. Does anybody know how many of these are actually posted in the town of Smith Falls right now? You want to take a guess? How
I
many
can tell you how many there should be, and anywhere that serves alcohol.
Absolutely. It is in fact, it's a law mandated by the Alcohol Gaming Commission of Ontario, and it is to be posted. There's some exceptions to it, but it is supposed to be posted anywhere where alcohol is served. There are some places that are mandated to have it, and there are other places where it's optional. So do you want to take a guess right now how many? We've actually just completed a survey here in the town, and we know exactly how many of these posters are up in Smith Falls right now. There is actually 64 of them. Yeah, because the ones that are mandated are the gas stations and convenience stores, the restaurants, and then the grocery stores, because they're all distributing alcohol, except Walmart and Giant Tiger. Those are the two that do not. They've made that choice not to. There are, the restaurants are not required. The others are. So that's, but almost all the restaurants in town are actually choosing to do so, which is great to hear. reason I'm bringing this up is the version that you have in front of you is the brand new one that just came out this year. I will show you the version as of last year. Do you see a difference? Do you see the difference on it? See the difference on it? The difference on it is, number one, this website doesn't exist anymore. So when people go to it, they're basically getting nothing. And then the second thing is AGCO this past year with this new version has tried to make it more clear that this is about FASD prevention. The reason I'm highlighting this though is because we also got told earlier in the year that the Southeast Health Unit, because of the amalgamation, was going to drop their FASD prevention department as part of that amalgamation. And the reason for it is because they don't actually have the mandate for it. It is actually an optional program that they offer. It's actually the Alcohol Gaming Commission of Ontario who has the provincial mandate behind it. And so when we learned that this past year, and then at the same time, because the new version has just came out, we decided that the Red Shoe Run for this year, that's going to be one of the main focuses that we wanted to bring out, is we now have this new version. It's located in these 64 places in Smith Falls, and it is about FASD prevention. We just found out last week, Southeast Health Unit has changed their minds, and they have now tasked an individual back onto the FASD prevention program. And in fact, they're even now coming on May 25th to the Red Shoe Run. Okay, so the last piece that I wanted to share with you is in terms of the run itself then. We, as Courtney, for example, knows, and Madam Chair also know, we had over 700 people in attendance last year. It was a really, really, really successful event. We are anticipating actually a larger number coming this year. We've got some more partners that are now coming in. I just got confirmation last week. The entire Rotary Club is going to be coming and helping us put this event on now. We also had the Adoption Council of Ontario is going to be sending a representative from Toronto to come and join our event. And they're going to have an information booth set up around services that they offer for adoptive families that folks may not necessarily know in this area. There's still waiting on a couple others. I have one question. This is not recorded, right?
This is recorded, yes.
It is
Live
recorded.
streamed, yes. And
Okay.
recorded.
Okay. We are anticipating a ministry announcement soon. And I guess I'm going to have to leave it at that. In terms of some things that are happening. So I think the piece that I want to share with that though is we also know that this announcement is a direct result of the event that we did last year. It was able to create a level of awareness that got the right people's attention, and it's going to be, we certainly believe it's going to be very helpful for anyone living with disabilities in the county of Lanark, find jobs and become employed and be able to find themselves in a different income state moving forward. And I have to leave it at that. So, and I guess the last piece with it is we also, following that event, saw a jump of just over 20 families reach out to us that had not been aware of Rural FASD before and are now connected with us and are now starting to find help and services and so on moving forward. So I can answer any other questions. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I think most of you are familiar with who we are and what this event is about. Again, really, anyone that wants to come out, you will see we are in the process of putting the flyers up through the town right now. We're getting it up on social media and all of those things you will see on the flyer. We have two main sponsors from a financial standpoint, the town of Smith Falls. Thank you again very, very much for that. And then the Trillium Foundation is our other big one. So, any questions for anyone at this point?
Mayor Panko.
Thanks, Rob. Just timing, because I want to make sure I get it in my calendar now.
So at Monday, May 25th, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be done by 1:30ish in the afternoon.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Laurel Reach Park.
that's right.
Any other questions?
Good to see everybody.
Is there anything that this committee can do other than, I know Courtney and I came out last year and sort of volunteer a little bit. Is there need for that this year? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one of the things that was really, really helpful was Sean from Kojiko TV was also there. And when we went to Queen's Park, we actually had a short documentary video that we kind of showed of the day, which was really, really impactful. So that's why we always say, yes, please come. Anybody that can come, if we can, and there's always benefit from that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much for coming tonight.
Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, so I think that wraps up our delegations and confirmation. Yeah.
Information, yeah.
All right, so we'll move to our priority issues, and the first one being a workshop review from a workshop online that I was actually able to participate in through the Hydrocephalus Canada organization, which I do receive emails and resources from them. And it pertained to the duty to accommodate people with disabilities in the workplace. First of all, I'll just start off a little bit of background about the lady who did the presentation. Her name is Lila Rafay, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Rafay, I believe. She's from the ARCH Disability Law Center. She's a lawyer there. She provides a lot of private education. The center itself focuses on, it's all free, it's all confidential. They focus on rights of people with disabilities. They have a legal clinic for people to access to. So just to kind of summarize what I had heard, and I do encourage you to look up the presentation. It's on YouTube. It was on February 17th, 2026. And it's just called Duty to Accommodate in the Workplace. And it's the Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus Association. So I do encourage you to have a look. It's about an hour long, and it was wonderful. I quite enjoyed it. She talked about some of the laws that apply when you're talking about these situations. So the Human Rights Act, the Ontario human rights, the Canadian rights for people with disabilities, the AODA, the Human Rights Code. And I think that pretty much sums that up. But some of the key points, the job, they'll help you with any job. So you don't have to work full time to access their service. You can be I'm a volunteer. I could. So that was really, really good to know too. Disability, she was saying in law, disability has some different definitions, and you can find that out if you have a listen. An example she gave, the CPP disability program could be different than ODSP in terms of what they cover and their rights and that sort of thing. The large definition of human rights laws, it's not as restrictive, and it may create some confusion there. So what is accommodation? It's taking steps to eliminate barriers, whether they be physical, technological, spaces, attitudinal barriers. She talked about that as well. Really encompassing all of those needs and trying to address all of them together. The accommodations that are given are very individualized, and there's a process that has to take place to get those accommodations in place. Everybody has a right to access training, equal opportunity for that. Performance evaluations, everybody has that right too. Accommodations, she talked about, and I thought this was an excellent point, that accommodations can be made until there's undue hardship on the person making the accommodation. So if there's something that is beyond their scope, they don't have to do it. And they would obviously work with the employee to meet their needs within the scope of what they can do. Another thing, the employee cannot expect perfect. Again, the employer can do their best. They can make things appropriate for their new employee, but nothing beyond that. They do respect confidentiality. That is totally, the employee has their certain parameters of what they have to disclose regarding their disability, and it's only what would make a difference in the work they're doing. So they don't have to disclose, well, I have this and this and this. They just have to disclose what accommodation they need in order to fulfill the duty of the job. See if there's... The employee would be responsible to ask for the accommodation it's not the employer's responsibility to do everything. The employee, if they are finding something new has come up, it's their job to go to the employer and say, look, can we sit down and talk about this issue? Yeah, all that just talks about the information sharing. Anything health and safety concerns would obviously need to be addressed, and that accommodation would be the responsibility of the employer to make sure that the new employee is safe at work. And I think that pretty well wraps it up, and I do encourage you to have a look at it. It was a wonderful presentation. She ended on a practical note, and she outlined some practical tips for employers and employees. If the employer refuses to accommodate, if it's a unionized organization, the new employee could contact the union rep. If it's not unionized, in Ontario, we would contact ARCH, Disability Law Center, that did this presentation. So that's just kind of an idea for you, and certainly check it out. And if you have any more questions or want to talk about some things, we can definitely make that happen. As of now, is there any questions? Huh? Seeing none? Courtney.
You said it's on YouTube. Do we just type in the duty to accommodate in the workplace and then look for?
I would do it under Arch Disability Law Center, and then put that whole title in after the duty to accommodate, etc.
You said February 17th, 2026 is
Yeah.
when?
Yeah. Okay, so I think that wraps up the workshop review if there's no other questions. All right, so now we'll move on. I want to talk a little bit about Accessibility Week and Red Shirt Day. Red Shirt Day is on June 3rd this year. As you know, we've done a lot of work around Red Shirt Day and Accessibility Week in the past. So Red Shirt Day is June 3rd, which is the Wednesday of Accessibility Week, so that would be May 31st to June 6th. Does anyone have any ideas of how we could possibly promote Red Shirt Day? Is there anything that anyone has thought about? Obviously it's early, but just thought I would throw it out there, and please feel free to get a hold of Stephanie or myself if there is any ideas. I'm just looking through my pile. I did have the opportunity to print one of the posters for Red Shirt Day, and I thought it was quite all-encompassing. It was easy to read. It was easy to understand what the idea of Red Shirt Day is. Seem to have misplaced it. but I will bring it. And perhaps I'll send a copy to Director Clark and she can circulate so everybody can see it.
Have we ever thought about putting an ad in the newspaper? Because like I know that goes to a lot of houses.
I don't know that we ever have done it, but I think we can, Director Clark.
I missed, what was that?
The newspaper.
Oh, I wonder if it would be a good opportunity, especially this is the last red shirt day for this existing committee, because this committee will wrap up the end of this term of council, to help highlight some of the work of the committee and also help highlight the commitment of the people on this committee, and particularly the chair. In all fairness, Lucy, but I think it's a good opportunity to just create some recognition and some acknowledgement as to the benefit of this committee and what it's meant to the community.
For sure. For sure.
And a photo op, obviously, with all of us have red shirts on.
Yeah, we did do a photo last year and in the pouring rain.
I remember that.
Thankfully, we had the bandstand. That was wonderful. Yeah, we could, if everybody's happy with that, we could definitely look at doing a photo op this year too. And perhaps even, I don't know, it's again a little bit of a time away, but I don't know if it would be possible to have our meeting that month on Red Shirt Day.
Did we not do that before?
We have done that
Because
before.
I'm pretty sure we all went out after the meeting and did the photo.
We did it the day before last year, but yeah.
Yeah, so we could do that. I know in the past we've put it on social media, and we put a copy of the poster on social media for people to see as well, and really spread the word and get the promotion going so that we can have as many people participate as possible. I do know of one group that I'm associated with through my church that will be participating in Red Shirt Day too. So I'm very, very thankful to the person who organizes it and their group as well. So that's wonderful. And yeah, we'll see how many people we can get on board, and I think the social media really helps too. And I know a couple of years we've had people send in photographs of themselves and put them on social media to really raise that awareness. So I would appreciate if we could do that again this year.
Do you think if we had like a flyer printed out that we could go around to businesses and see if they'd be willing to put one in their window or on the door?
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Perhaps a copy of the poster too.
Yeah.
Post them up around town, similar to what FASD is doing. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Is there any other ideas of what we could possibly think of? I do encourage you, if you do come up with an idea on your own, to reach out to Stephanie or I, and we will we'll get them going. Oh, proclamation, yes.
Yes,
Perfecto.
for sure, yeah, that'll be there.
Yes, thank you.
Before, so.
Thank you. And yeah, so I think that wraps that up. Are we comfortable to move on to our last? Yep.
Can I jump in?
Absolutely, you can.
Thank you. Okay. So I added this because we had some updates that I wanted to provide. So this is priority number letter C, the
Good.
new letter C. So just a really quick update on Lower Reach Park. So things are still unfolding, but we have received in this year's capital budget and actually previous capital budgets, but we're finally making some headway on upgrading that dubious road, the random parking lot,
Inaccessible.
the inaccessible. Some would call it a swimming pool because it's currently got a lot of ruts that are filled with water. So I wouldn't suggest you want to go and take a swim there. But we are working towards getting the geotech done for a new parking lot in Lower Reach. This is exciting for a lot of reasons because then people can stop asking if we're going to fix the road, hopefully. But yes, that incidentally will be fixed. We are looking at just the number of spaces and so on. So we're sort of finalizing the details, which is kind of exciting. And it will be an asphalt, not a 1960s asphalt with various gravel and other kinds of things over top of it. So hopefully we'll encourage people to park in the spaces. There will be accessible spaces that are included, standard size that we would meeting the spec. And we're also creating some more parking, official parking closer to the Kinsman facility so that it's a little bit easier to access the facility directly. The other piece that I'm pleased to report is that last evening, Council directed Community Services, so this department, to redirect some funding that was earmarked as one of the strategic priorities for a plan to be more tangible and hands-on. So we felt, and Council felt, that we have the plan as it is. And so we have the accessible standards that we need to meet with all our trails. We are going to focus on trying to get as much of the trail paved as possible. Don't get your hopes up. We're not sure how much we can do, but what we're trying to do is, I know Mayor Pankow, I saw that look. I want to make sure that everyone's expectations are, aim low, achieve high, but we are hoping to find some economies of scale. We are going to be redrafting our tender a little bit to make sure that we include that loop. There's about 1,800 meters of trail that we'd like to tackle. That is a significant cost. It's $250,000 if we did it just as that. If we did it to the standards. So, and that's just for the trail. That's not for seating. That's not for lighting. It's not for anything else. So there are significant costs with these types of things. However, we think it's worth it. And we're hoping we can get some, like I said, some economies of scale. So we're going to try to not sneak it into the parking lot, but it becomes a part of that parking lot project. So we're going to widen out the scope of that. So the buzz of the department this morning was actually quite excited because we've been trying to figure out a way to do this for a long time. And I think this is just really a really great thing for us to see come to fruition. We are not going to do it early in the year because typically asphalt doesn't start getting laid into June. We don't want to interrupt the height of the park season. There were 400,000 visits in 2024 to Lower Reach. And so the bulk of those were in June, July, and August. We don't want to take that away from folks. So we're going to get through one more season. We will do our best to fill the holes in the ruts in the swimming pools in the road and try to cobble through. And then we want to close the park. We're debating which date it's going to be. We need to have a conversation with the Kinsmen because it will impact them, obviously. So we don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but likely sometime in September. So we're targeting that. In addition to that, because while we're there, we might as well have, do it as much as we can, do it all. We have a tender going out next week or the week thereafter for a new play structure that's actually accessible down at Lower Reach. So we're very excited. We're trying to figure out if we can get some rubberized surfacing within the budget that we have. And so there's a generous capital allotment that's there. The difficulty is that it is on a dump. So the costs escalate when you have to excavate, as we have so unfortunately learned. So that may hinder what we can get, but we are trying to work with our contractors and folks that we know to really help us build the best play structure. The play structure that's there is no longer accessible, actually, interestingly enough. And it's also the features that made it accessible have been broken or are no longer repairable. And it does say that it's for, I think it's 18 months to 5 years, or to 12 years rather. So we are looking to replace that age range with the equipment. So we're excited to see what we get. So we don't know what's out there. We're going to send out a tender and, see responds, but we're really hopeful that we'll have yet another accessible play structure within a spot that's one of the hottest spots, literally and figuratively, in the summer in our town. So my department they were very excited today. So they wanted me to share that with you.
I have a question, if I can, through the chair. Will this be for this year, the new park, or for next year?
So September.
September. Okay.
Yeah, of 2026.
All right, is there any other?
And don't you have some signage in your office?
Oh,
Which will
yeah.
soon be.
Yes, we do. Thank you for reminding me, because we did discuss that earlier when you got excited and saw it. So a couple years ago now, 2 years ago, I think, maybe.
Early last year there was.
Is it at some point in a school year not too distant behind us? Duncan Jay, a classroom from Duncan Jay, said that they would like to have accessible signage for children who have some difficulty with words and speaking. So they actually came up with some for their classroom. And then it was this lovely young girl named Emma was sort of the reason that the classroom got together and said, we really, really want to do this. This is important. Emma is awesome, and we can't have her participate because she can't share her thoughts and feelings. So this class was awesome and rallied around, and they created this signage for her. And then they said, but we can't play outside. We can play inside. This is great. We can't play outside. So they created some signage for the school outside. So they actually invited a couple of folks from our organization, from the town, and they said, we'd love it for you guys to do this. Took a little while for us to narrow it down to really hammer it out. But finally, we have some signage going up before this park's open. The park's open the week of the May long weekend. So Friday, I believe, before the May long weekend. So those will be installed in Highland Corbett, Lower Reach, and Victoria Park. Yes, thank you. So the others, once they get names, so the Lee Avenue Parkette, we have to name that first, and then we will add some signage there. So we anticipate bringing all of our this to all of our parks. I'm also excited to share that we have a new playground-ish park coming to the community in Bellamy Farms. It's an improved capital project this year. So Bellamy Farms Phase 3, it's a Parkview Homes subdivision. We are putting in a basketball net, a bouldering wall, and some fitness equipment, and having some other accessible features, and some there's going to be water, there's lots of trees. It's a really cool space. It's different than any other play structure or park that we have in town. And we're going to be including signage out there as well. So that's coming online. That's a priority, I think, for us. So hopefully coming online as soon as our installer is allowing us to do that in June or July. So big news. That's all I got.
It's wonderful, big news. And really thank you for all of your work, and thank you for sharing, and we'll certainly support that whatever way we can. But excited for the future, excited to see the work come to fruition. We'll put September on our calendars for sure.
Maybe have a ribbon cutting. And to be fair, a lot of this comes out of some of the work this committee did to begin with around the accessible playgrounds planning. So that's how so the work that you did before has not been shelved, it's not been forgotten, it's embedded in the programs that we're trying to do. And so when we look at our capital planning, we take that, we incorporate it, we follow those standards. And, you know, the accessible trails that you guys had worked through as well, that the information on that was really important, because it allows us to be very clear about how we build what we do when we move forward in the future. So the work is not for naught.
Great.
Okay.
And now we will move to our last priority issue. Or does anyone have any questions or comments? Anyone else?
No.
Exciting times. We'll move on to our last priority issue. Is everybody comfortable to do that? Yeah. Okay, so we will move on. It's an update on the delegation invitation from Lanark Transportation and the Chamber of Commerce, and that's with Director Clark.
So just that those remain on our list. I know that we've had a conversation or two around inviting them in. So I've reached out to On Track. I have yet to reach back out to Land Transportation. We made connected in the the winter, and now we've got to reconnect so that we can hammer out some dates. Chamber of Commerce and the Smith Falls Downtown Business Association are very keen to come. They're just trying to make sure that they can get here. And so, as I mentioned earlier, there's a date overlap. We miscued a little bit. So they have their own meeting tonight, the DBA. So that's on the list. I think, again, just to reiterate, if there are specific questions that you would like us to, as I reach out and get them scheduled, because they're sort of saying, like, what do you guys want to hear? So I think we want to make sure we're tailoring our questions to what they can bring, and then they can provide those answers. So if you just want a general, we can talk about general. If you have specific questions for each of them, just send them my way, and then we'll make sure that that gets over there. If there's anyone else, any other organizations you want us to invite as well, I'd be happy to reach out to them.
Anybody think of anything as of now? Mayor Benko.
The only one is that it's not much. I guess whenever the mandate of this committee is an advisory committee to council is one thing, but we tend to delve into a lot of other areas. Mm-hmm. And I'm changing hats, but in my professional life, I work with people for income security for people who live with disabilities. But what I'm thinking is, through that, I'm learning that there is only about 1/3 of people who are eligible for the disability tax credit are actually receiving it. Mm. And it's really the trigger point for a lot of additional benefits people may be entitled to. So I think it would be beneficial, I think, to have someone come in and talk about the eligibility for the disability tax credit and how you achieve that. Because there was a lot of invisible disabilities, as an example, that would enable people to qualify, and it can make a significant difference. It can be retroactive up to 10 years. So people can get significant amount of money back from CRA once they get a decision on this, and it opens the doors to a lot of other opportunities. So that's something I think would provide benefit to really, I guess, for anybody who may be paying attention here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can add them.
Yeah, sure. Great.
Does anyone else have any other questions, comments? No?
We can even, for that one, we do have remote abilities, don't forget. So like if the minister, if that's who you're referring to, they could join virtually too. Just a thought.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I think we can move on. No correspondence items tonight. No in-camera issues. Brings us right down into our next meeting date. And are we comfortable with that being in May? I think May is good.
Gives us some time to do something ahead of the Red Shirt Day. So
Yeah.
June
what about
too far?
this week? 10 to the 16th, so the 12th. Because that'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll give us 3 weeks.
Yeah, that
May
seems to
12th?
work for me.
So
May 12th then?
May 12th. Yep.
okay,
6 p.m. still.
sounds good.
May 12th.
Shoot.
It should be. May the 12th. Yep. That'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, and I think with that we can, if everybody's comfortable, we can adjourn tonight. So could I have someone move to adjourn, please? Corey, thank you. Could I have someone second? Courtney, thank you. All in favor? All right, and have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for